You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the January 10th meeting of the Michigan City Board of Aviation Commissioners. You can find more information for this meeting at www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Call to order Board of Aviation Commissioners meeting January 10th, 1 p.m. T.Y. Okeson, President, Kurt Hunter, Greg Poulin, myself, Jeff Bartlett. We do have a quorum. Other members present, Park Jessica Ward, Airport Manager, BFNS Representative Andrew Maximovich, and we also have Airport Liaison from the AFPA, Paul Walczyk. Everybody get a chance to read the minutes for December 14th, 2023 regular meeting that was sent out by Jessica.
I move there be approved as written.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Election of officers. It's that time of year again.
Well, I move that we keep Jeff, continue for another year.
I appreciate
Second
it.
motion.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. I'll continue on for another year. Reports, financial.
What about the rest? I need the rest of the people. It's not all about you, Jeff.
Sorry.
You can have them all, Jeff.
Yeah, right?
I don't. All right, that takes care of President, Vice President.
I'm gonna leave, like TY as Vice President.
I second the motion.
All those in favor say
You
aye.
accept?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. And for Secretary?
So you want Kurt?
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
I move that I be secretary.
Is there a second?
Here's the minutes.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any
Was
opposed?
that Kirk that?
Motion
Okay.
carries.
Kirk and T.Y.
Only one
Secretary?
that's pretty
Greg is the
Greg, thank you.
treasurer.
Do you have a motion for
Motion.
Treasurer?
I move that Greg be treasurer.
Is there a second? Thank you, T.Y. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. That takes care of election of officers. Reports, financial.
That's me. All right, so these are our starting balances. Everybody should have that. I was allowed to put in claims this month. Normally, it's just utility bills that I can put in January, but they let us put all of our claims in. So our January claims docket is a little more at $3,000 instead of just the typical like $600 or $700. So some of our line items, if you look on current, you'll see that they're down below the beginning. You can see what we spent. So 6.43% in household, that's for coffee. Engineering, we had a master services agreement that I paid for that. Telephone, we had AT&T for our AWAS out there, the AWAS phone that I paid. NIPSCO bill, water and sewer bill, organizational membership. I paid pretty much everything that was coming due right now, which is Aviation Indiana, Chamber of Commerce. I think those are the only two. So we'll still have AAAE. That's the only other membership that I have, I believe.
Was the Ascent Aviation, was that for the AWAS?
Ascent Aviation is actually for our POS, point of sale software for Aero Energy. That's what we use for. And so I used to pay that quarterly, and I decided last year was the first year, no, maybe it was 2022, that I just pay it all up front annually. It's the only software we can use. It works great, everything's fine. But Phillips 66 is our branded fuel. Aero Energy is who does all of our point of sale stuff, and so they use Ascent Aviation for our point of sale.
Makes sense.
And it's called AFPOS. That's the software that we use is AFPOS software. So that's what that was. And that came out of contractual services. So, and waste management, I think also came out. So those were what we paid on this claims docket, which is just more than normal for January. I also updated the fuel fund, the riverboat fund on the bottom of the report. Our aviation fuel, remember last year we only had $150,000 I think to start. Now we're up to $276,000, which is what we used to be at. So I won't have to go back to the council and ask for more money for fuel this year. Airport projects, we have $132,200 in our building fund. That's to make this building the best it could be for events and overnights and get that in ship shape. And then also by shelving and other things that we need to finish off our building in the back. Fuel farm, we still have the $769,450, $80 in that. And that's for the above ground fuel tanks. We'll talk about that later, and there's nothing new, and that'll be later underneath our engineering stuff, airport development. And our bill, this year, we just have the bill local match. That's gonna be the $8,333.34. That's on there as well. The council wants us to request, for our match for every grant that we apply for. That's citywide, everybody needs to. But for the bill, since it was the whole thing, you knew you got one every 5 years and it was the same amount of money, they approved all years in one setting, so I don't have to go back every year for that. So we know that we can pay that local match.
Okay.
And that's it for accounts.
All right. What's next?
Fuel.
Yes, you, thank you.
So we sold 1,354.2 gallons of 100 low lead. Last month, that was 146. We had a great December, as you can see with our percentages. Jet A, we sold 941 gallons when the year before was 74, so that was 1,172% more. And UL 94, 245.5, the year before was 117.1, so that's 110% more. So we had a really great December, but it was so mild. It was the most mild December in years and years. So we have 100 low lead, $4.99 self-service app gas, $5.19 for full service, $4.24 for both self and full service Jet A, $6.70 for self-service UL 94. No changes in any of that. And we're still the lowest price around for our fuel, so that's really good. UL 94, $6.70 is pretty high, but the only other airport that carries it is Griffith Maryville, and they're at $7.09.
So good. Very
Yeah,
competitive.
so it is as competitive as can be for those.
So they no problems with the fuel pump, knock on wood still?
Nope,
That primer?
no issues at all.
That's awesome.
Yep, so self-service been running really well. We do need to get our filters changed, which, that's an annual thing. We get them changed every year, so that comes out of our fuel fund, 276, that'll come out of that.
Alright.
So they'll come out and change all of our filters on the trucks and the underground, and
Nice.
How much is that typically?
I'm not sure. I'd have to look back through, because the last time we did it was a year ago, so.
Alright. Moving on to airport manager for airport perimeter fence insurance claim.
Yes. Has anybody driven down Muir Road? Anybody noticed our fence is down in a huge section?
Is that a limb or something?
The airport perimeter fence was damaged in a vehicle crash, not an airplane crash, a vehicle crash at the intersection of Muir Road and Warnke. An insurance claim's been started for the perimeter fence damage. There's currently snow fence up. I'll show you the pictures of like the crash too, because it was pretty bad. There's snow fence up in that section of perimeter fence that's down. It's not gonna keep deer out of our airport, but I mean, we can try. The best we can do is put that up until,
It doesn't work, I've got that.
So
on my house.
yeah, exactly. So I've called around to get some estimates for repair, because we need that for the insurance claim. But it's an entire section. They took out a whole telephone pole down, telephone poles down. They took out a whole section of our fence.
When did that happen?
It happened in December last month.
But they know who did it, right?
Yes, yep. They came out and,
Yeah. Okay.
so yeah, we did the best we could to, there's still parts out there and everything else that need cleaned up on the outside of the fence. Tire and all kinds
No
of stuff.
fatalities, right?
No,
Okay.
no fatalities that I know of. Just the one driver. So yeah, so I'm just letting you guys know. I have a claim in for that. If you drive down the road, that's what happened.
Alright. But their insurance will pick that up though, right?
They had insurance and all that, or else the
Yeah.
city insurance will have to cover it.
Okay. Alright. Winter operation preparations.
Yes, we plowed our first snow. It was a slushy mess, but we plowed it. But while we were plowing it, both the truck and the tractor went down at the same time. So luckily, the Chevy truck, I know, that's very scary. The Chevy truck, it was an electrical issue with the Snowway plow, we have a Snowway plow. And so Central Maintenance came out and looked at both of them at the same time, and that was just, they ordered a new one, it was picked up already today, and it's here already. So that's awesome. So Rudy's out there putting that new the new thing in there, so we should at least have the Chevy with the plow up and running. The tractor, it was like sparking in the middle of the tractor, something was going on, and so central maintenance came out and also looked at that, and it looks like it's a bearing that's between the engine and the flywheel. A bearing went out on it, central maintenance cannot repair that. They said, you gotta take the tractor in half to repair that. They're like, Rochester's gonna have to come back and get it.
Oh, my God.
So these are the first, I mean, it has nothing to do, because I was like, Greg, does it have something to do maybe with the last repair? You know what I mean, that we had done? It doesn't. That was like a PTO on the end, this is like a bearing right in the middle. And so he just says it's a wear item.
That's gonna be really expensive.
So Rochester's gonna have to come and pick it back up and then give us an estimate for what it'll be repairing.
What year is that tractor?
We just picked up, they don't make the bidirectionals anymore. We just got that tractor, I think it was like 2016 that we purchased that.
Is it
So it's
that
like, yeah, 7 years old.
Yeah. It's
But this is our first time, yeah. But this is our first time we've ever had issues with it, you know what I mean? This has literally happened to be the first year, like a month separating that we've had issues with it, but
And it gets used.
yeah, it gets used all summer, it gets used all winter, it's, you know, it's a very used piece of equipment, so we'll just have to keep our eye on it. I mean, it goes in for all the normal, repair and maintenance. They do the oil changes regularly and everything. I mean, they take really good care of it, but they're just weird items, you just can't.
Yeah.
How many hours is on that, you know?
I have no idea, I'd have to look.
All right. Just keep us updated on it. I'm
I
sure you
will. So the street department though, and I talked to both Sean from the street department, and I also talked to Greg, who's the foreman, maintenance foreman over at Central Maintenance, and they're actively looking for something that we can use for Friday, because we're supposed to get maybe 15 inches or so. They're looking for something that we can actively use then, like on Friday. So the one thing that they had was a backhoe. It has like one of those big parking lot plows on the front that's like the box plow.
Yeah.
And I told them that's not gonna work out here, because we need to be able to angle, we need the same amount of snow all down the runway. We can't just like pile it up on the end lights, like that doesn't work for runways. So then they have a loader that they were looking at. They have a loader that, they might be able to outfit like a plow on the front of it, but it would just be one way only. I'm like, that'll be fine. We can turn around at the end and just keep going the same way. And so I don't care if we can move it or not. As long as it goes one way, that's all that matters to us. So the plow will just be angled in one direction and he won't be able to, move it. So, they're actively trying to get us something. He was talking about they have like 4 trucks, but we can't have anything out here that has salt. So, all their trucks carry salt. And so I said, none of those will work. It's gotta be something that has no salt.
Yeah, because they accidentally drop.
You just bump, on the runway, you hit those things and salt that will not work.
Fire departments and police departments have reciprocity. They help mutual aid stuff. Do other airports, if they have extra equipment, like South Bend or somebody?
Well, I mean, we do, there's like a surplus, thing that I know that, Indiana, they have that, you
Like a
can
loaner?
pick up, like, equipment. I don't think loaner, you'd have to like buy extra equipment and stuff. But also, the street department has a new loader that they just got, and we're hoping to be able, if we put a plow in the loader, the airport can use it for the winter too, for like our operations, and then they can also use it, so it's kind of like dual department use.
Yeah.
And so maybe that would work okay if, we were able to do that, but we really could use like a backup piece, and I think that would be really smart to have, to where we both could, use, both departments would be able to have something to use like that.
What's the downtime for this tractor?
I don't even know when they're coming to get it. So I have a call in, they gotta wait for the guy, they got one guy that drives the truck, the semi that comes and picks stuff up, and
Okay.
so they asked yesterday if we had a lot of snow. I said, we have none. There's no snow, the roads are clear up here in northwest Indiana, because they're from Rochester, so they just wanted to make sure that it was gonna be okay, but hopefully they can come before Friday. Because that's when we're
Right.
supposed to get a ton, and then it's supposed to be -25 with wind chill for like a whole week or something.
Yeah.
So, we'll see how it goes.
All right,
There's
thanks.
that.
Airport development.
Quick story. Airport fences are car magnets.
Right.
I got a call at 2 in the morning. That was one of probably 6 cars I had in the fence when I was at Alkirk. Just this one in particular. This guy was running from the cops at 1 in the morning. He was drunk. Went through the fence between 2 Malzar lights.
Oh, geez.
Went back through the fence, and the top rail from the fence went through the windshield, through him, through the seat, through the floor,
Oh, God.
and he was dragging this post, went back over the road, hit a tree, came to a stop, and when the cops got there, he was trying to get out. He had the door open, and he couldn't move, just drunk. So medevac
Lucky he was strong.
flies in. They cut this thing off, but they cut it off too long to put him in the medevac. They threw him in an ambulance.
Why is that funny?
I just
Saved his life though, I'm sure if that thing was.
You like
can't make this
horror,
stuff up.
Yeah.
you like horror movies?
They do. They hit you
Like
fast.
Beetlejuice.
A lot of them are uninsured, so you got to chase down the cost and
you'll
all that
see.
stuff.
Chainsaw Massacre, that's crazy.
Yeah, that was probably one of my top 2 crazy stories. I'll save the next one.
Yeah, for another time.
For another time.
Alright.
Yeah. So I've got 4 items here. What do I mention? As you know, we've been going through design. We've done a lot of conversations with state FAA. All the pieces are in place, just need funding. At this point, the word on the street is 2026. So I think that's the same that Jessica heard. Moving forward on that, they've got the supplemental funding out there, and I think we've submitted for that in the past. We'll continue to do that. Continue to seek any funding we can. Leslie property swap needs finalized. I don't know much about this, do you, Jessica?
Yeah, I think it's still just Bill Nelson. We're just like waiting on final paperwork from them.
I think that's one. And this is the city water department. This is the one that Paul said he's going to get on this here real quick. But we'll need Bill's help with that. So
Yeah, so the water department, that's just the line to go out to the Olmsted property, which we know they're trying to develop that. So that's a water line. Remember, we just gave them permission to go in and take a look and do the survey. And so they're gonna put in the line now, and hopefully we'll be able to kind of use part of that with our improvements that we have too. And so we're gonna like marry those two with an MOU.
which is a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next item, runway crack ceiling service code. Brought the agreement with me for signature. Jeff, you got a question on when that was going to be done and runway closures. There will be runway closures.
Okay.
Yeah, so the crack repair portion of it is going to take 2 or 3 days, and then there's going to be 2 or 3 days of coating and then painting on top of that. So however we sequence this, there'll have to be no TAMs and so forth to shut that
That all
down.
depends on weather too, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know that you could sequence it so you could do like a third at a time. I mean, the balance of your runway may not be enough.
Yeah,
to
it's
be able
not
to
big
do.
though.
Yeah, usually it's like half. You can do it like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's gonna go fairly quickly. I mean, if there's a concern about being closed too long, I guess you could have the conversation about having the contractor stay after hours, extend their hours. But you start getting into nighttime, then it's,
It's just a 3-day thing, I don't think that's
Yeah.
too big a thing, I didn't know how long it was gonna take.
yeah, okay.
You guys,
So, design.
Yeah, going third at a time, I
yeah.
mean, the middle third's not gonna help anybody,
No, right, yeah.
so.
And it's gonna be,
Well, I can fly and then,
You're ready for that?
yeah, but, you're talking about the transient folks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so they are more important than us here,
if it was a rehab, we may consider doing like a taxiway runway temporary, but it's gonna be over so fast, that's.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Let's see, the design component's gonna be roughly 42,000. We've got inspection in here, about 76,000. That agreement has not been written yet. And then the construction portion will be about 650,000.
Can you give
Yes.
Jeff one of those copies?
I'm
I think
sorry.
you have multiple copies. Can you give one to Jeff?
The agreement?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got it. So there's 2 copies of the.
Because these we sent to you guys,
I
so
saw the
everybody
PDF.
saw. Okay, good.
And then
I just wanted to make
there's
sure. If anybody wants to look at it, it's right
man-hour
here.
breakdown in the back if you want to reference that, in case that's important to you. But so we've got some leftover 22 NPE funds that we're throwing at this, including your 23 and 24 funds. So there's roughly about 390,000 in NPE, and then we've got 2 years of AIG. You use that first year for your SRE building reimbursement.
Yeah, the BIO.
Yep, there's 20, 23, 24 bill money, about 290,000, so that's where that funding's coming from. As far as timing, they normally don't load the checkbooks till like March or April on the NPE, but there's a chance you can get your bill sooner, so my guess is Paul's gonna try to get this designed and bid pretty quickly. You gotta try to match up your bid hold time, you know, with getting bids, and that's always a fine dance, so. The good thing is if you get the AIG sooner, that'll float us along here. So if you have any other questions, I can jot them down, if you wanna.
When do you project the bids to?
I'm sorry.
It was March or April, I think.
Yeah, it'll be March or April.
March or April.
That's all I had. I saw that you guys were planning to have everything done wrapped up by October.
Yeah. You know, the holdout is always the NPE. You assume you're gonna get a June or July grant until FAA does one of their, this is the way we do things, and get a grant in September type of thing, you know.
Yeah.
We've been a part of those September grants, lots and lots and
It's
lots
just
of
annoying.
years.
So they tried to turn the whole program around and kind of speed up the front end of things, so our pre-apps are due in December of the previous year, and so is the environmental stuff, but they have a good history and record of getting grants out at the very last minute, so. But we did see some bill grants out, you know, in July and April, so there's hope for us.
How much did you say the crack repair was gonna be in the rest?
Construction was like roughly 650. Of course, you don't know what you get until it's bid, so.
42 and 78 or something of those numbers. Design.
That's right.
Design and
Inspection, yeah.
inspection.
Well, is there a motion to approve the project work order number 6 for the runway 220 crack repair surface treatment design?
Yeah, I'll make that motion to approve work order 6 for runway 220.
Is there a second?
Second that motion.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries, thank you. I'll sign these.
Thanks, guys. Hey, SRE building looks great. Just
Yes. I took Andrew out for a tour.
Did it?
Yep.
It's toasty as much as it can be.
What about the closeout for the grant? Have you filed the paperwork for the closeout yet?
So, yeah, Paul has here zero balance. That's not entirely accurate. You still have that ParaQuest 2 final, which has some federal and state money,
Yeah.
because we got to turn in the final findings report. So Paul's kind of,
That's what we're waiting on. I couldn't figure it out because we approved to send that, but
back in October.
yeah, and so we haven't yet, and Mary Lynn was asking about it and stuff, and I didn't have any answers.
Typically, that's the way it goes, and maybe the FAA wouldn't notice, but when it comes to the state, they will not release their portion until they've got record drawings and the final findings.
Okay, so do we have those yet, or what?
Paul is gathering that now.
He's gathering, okay.
That's the item under here. He's got bill closeout, bill grant closeout. He's working on those final documents, so expect to see that here soon.
Just
And then you'll copy me and Mary Lynn. Yvonne's not here anymore, it's Mary Lynn now.
Mary Lynn?
Yep, which you have already on there.
Yes.
And then I'll send you another email to Miko.
Mary Lynn Wall,
Smith.
right?
Yep,
pass it to.
So, who's gone? Yvonne?
Yvonne's gone, yep. So Mary Lynn Wall's the new controller for the city. And then Tamiko Smith, I'm almost sure that's her last name, is the deputy controller. So those will be the two that you copy with me on those. Yep.
Is there any need for education that anybody on grants and so forth?
No.
Mary Lynn's pretty good.
Yep,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you.
Did you get set the keys down for the building and everything? You're good for
Yeah. Yep.
It's closed docket. So it's not going around.
Oh, you have it?
Yeah. Field farm.
Yeah, last night at Kill Farm, looks like, going back, you guys know the story, it was only roughly 30% eligible, according to what the program was offering. So I think,
We're working on the IDEM grant.
yeah. And that's it for my report.
Easy peasy,
Appreciate you coming
Andrew.
up here.
Thank you.
Old business, nothing there.
Well, old business, I got old business.
Sure.
Is there a way we can revisit the airport vehicle request?
I'd love to do that, especially with Angie.
We need to revisit that, and I would like to request that we do that,
I think that's great.
to get our vehicle back, or a vehicle back.
Yeah.
So
Um,
how do we do it? How do we approach that?
Well, we
I'll
gotta
just-
see the mayor here the next couple of days, don't we? Yeah.
Well,
I can just set up a
We will-
meeting and,
Maybe not.
no.
I'll set up a
we'll see
meeting
her-
if
see
you want to
her.
come with me. Yeah,
For her to come here, or we go?
probably has to go there, to her office,
Okay,
whoever wants to come with.
I'll go.
I know you'll definitely
I'll go,
go.
whatever you want.
Yeah, let's try and figure out a time that us three can go down there, because you can't have more than two, so.
Okay.
And we'll go down and have a
The next 10
discussion.
days, so,
Are you?
yeah. So we
Okay.
get something earlier the
I
better.
mean, she just started in this position, and she's got a lot on her plate, so I will ask her when she, has
Yeah,
time to
whatever.
have a meeting with us. If it can be in the next 10 days, great.
If not.
Yeah,
sooner the
I'll let you know.
better.
I'll just ask for some days that she's available
Mm,
to just have a meeting about that. And I'll
We just
just,
need an hour
I know,
to have a conversation about it.
yeah, just to get it on her radar.
And get her to understand that this is normal practice.
Correct.
And I think with that contract, the language that we spoke about last time, we can tighten it up and make sure it's, a little bit ironclad on who's using it.
Maybe we can get a letter from the AOPA liaison.
Sample?
Yeah, no, from you, just saying the importance of
Oh, absolutely.
courtesy vehicles from AOPA standpoint, something.
No, that'd be great. Thanks
Yeah.
for bringing that
Sure,
up.
all right.
New business, 2024 attorney contract.
Yes, did I put it in yours or did I, oh, here it is. I sent this out to everybody, same as last year.
Same rates, wasn't it?
Yep, same rates as last year.
Good.
It's gonna go to Amber, she's still our legal counsel for the city, corporation counsel, so, I'll give it to her after, if the board approves this.
Yeah, I don't see any problem with it myself. It's the same status quo.
I move we accept the 2024 attorney contract as written.
Is there a second?
A second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries to approve, to continue on with our attorneys. Thank you. I'll sign this and pass it around. Next item, 2024 hangar A5-2 rental lease for Flight Saga.
This is the same as last year, too?
No changes, so good.
No changes?
These aren't,
I know,
that's okay.
he sends it to me like that, so if you just wanna sign on your name and then just scratch and write what you are, or just put member if you want, whatever you guys wanna do.
I don't think you need to.
Because I mean, in January is when you guys all change over, you know what I mean, so it's like hard to figure out who's what.
I've been really happy of seeing what they're doing and operating out of there. So
Yes.
no
It's been
Wrong
really
one.
great. That's okay.
Sweet God.
Put a little line to TY. A little arrow. I'll print a new one.
Right,
I'll print a new one.
Okay,
You want me to print a new
I'm
one?
so
Okay,
sorry.
afterwards I'll print a new
You
one.
can sign on mine and then just do the arrows, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll,
Has everybody had a chance
I'm
to
sorry.
see or any changes to the annual hangar links on there? For Flight Saga?
I didn't see any reason to change that, but
Is there a motion to approve the A5-2 rental lease for Flight Saga?
Make the motion and approve the rental.
okay.
Is there a second?
I second.
Any discussion?
Close to runway like
Yeah.
that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries
That was
for
quick and
renewing.
easy,
Thank you.
Mhm.
Correspondence? Steve,
Right here, if you want.
Thank you.
Quit, wrong time to quit drinking.
Claims docket. Everybody get a chance to see, the claims docket for this month? Is there a motion to approve the claims docket for $3,873.59?
Yes, I'll make that motion.
A second.
Second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries to approve. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, I have. Correspondence, nothing, anything come in? No. Public comment?
A couple comments. Already had it on my list, on the letter, so, good idea. Last time we were here, other Paul was gonna look into the 2-lap copy that we have for the runways, that it was unofficial, but now it should be official, but it's not showing up as being official in fourth letter, but official in the FAA. So, I don't know if he's still working on that, but.
Yeah, he sent, I already sent over another request
Okay.
to the FAA, so,
Not the most important thing in the world, but it should be accurate.
yeah.
For the big old maintenance building, is there any timeline on when that's gonna be available to put airplanes in?
Right now, I would say hopefully by summer.
Okay, so not for the
I
time.
mean, right now, I could probably do like an overnight if we have bad weather or something. I could probably handle doing that right now.
Just put on board flight, like $50 a night for a hangar.
Yep.
In the winter especially, that would make pilots more comfortable, knowing that they can have the airplane in a heated hangar.
Yep.
And $50 is $50.
The only thing is, we don't have any tow bars or
Do we
anything.
want to charge 50?
You put a note, BYO tow bar.
Or
Yeah, because that's, we need to like look into insurance and everything for that, because right now we're not insured to have,
Stuff for that?
Right.
you know,
People didn't
any aircraft in there, so
If it's
there's a lot of stuff that we have to do in order to prepare for that,
Yeah,
really.
fair enough.
Is that fair? You fly more than I do. What's a good rate?
I would say, but I would say $50 is pretty fair.
Well, I mean, I've been in places where it's like 10, 20, you know, and sometimes I kind of frown and they say, okay, well, just
Tiger
take it for
doesn't
the
have any
night.
spots.
But if you
No,
stay 2
we are
nights,
full to
then
the
we'll charge you
nibbity,
more.
he's been trying to get in here.
You know,
For a
we
hangar
don't
himself.
like
I don't scare anybody off,
encourage people.
They still use.
but I also want to make sure, you know, it is heated
One,
and there's not too many spaces in there.
Okay, how about a gradational charge? How about if the airplanes are less than a certain weight, then they pay 20. If it's a jet or something bigger,
we don't have room for a jet in the hangar, so it wouldn't matter anyways.
well, like a smaller, you know,
Yeah, no, we couldn't get a King Air in there, nothing like that.
we can't even.
No.
What about Ainsley's type of airplane? Can we get, those are like Aztecs and.
I don't know, I'd have to do the wings measurement, I don't know if we
Are they
could.
12 feet high, the doors?
The door, I think, is like maybe, I don't know, 13 and a half.
Yeah.
Why don't we do a little research, call around and see what everybody else is charging for that? And then
Yeah,
we can
for
come up with a game plan.
Yeah,
That way we can set something in stone.
Paul, what is it usually you think? About
Last time I
15?
did it was in Mason City, Iowa, it was 40 or $50 a night for indoor hangar. In the summer, it's less of a big deal, but in the winter,
Oh, absolutely.
yeah,
It was a scrape wings.
yeah. Well, and plus it's just terrible for the engine. They're starting them, it's really cool. So, it might bring more people here if they knew, hey, I had the plane.
Right.
We didn't want to put notes like, call ahead, because it's not an infinitely large hangar, but,
Yeah,
I think there's a market for that for sure.
Oh, that's good then.
we could probably settle between 50 and stay at 40 or something like that.
All right.
Just to be competitive, you know, it's like our fuel, we
Right.
kind of keep it low. So,
All right.
And then there was that marketing report that we were working on.
yep,
Is that ready yet for public consumption?
nope,
Okay.
so when it is, Paul, you'll be the first to get it.
I'll just keep asking. No worries. And then this one just came up, and this is
I
probably
should have
talked
had you
about.
bring it, Andrew.
It's probably been talked about before, but when the runway extension happens, has there been any discussion of if and for how long the main runway would be closed? Like, would they be able to try and do most of the work without closing the main? Or do you expect that there would be a long-term closure of the runway?
There's gonna be a long-term closure of the runway.
I think it was like a year and a half or something.
It's gonna be at least a season,
A season.
like a whole season of construction.
Yeah.
And that's when they do both. So the plan was, and this, it changes so much, you don't even wanna give a plan, right? But the current plan, we can say that, is they're gonna do like 1/3 of the runway. So when they do 1/3, the other 2/3 are gonna be open. And then they're gonna do that 1/3, and then the other 2/3 are gonna be open. And then when they do the middle, nothing will be open. So that'll be a whole season that they're doing that. Because then they have to resurface, they have to build up the middle, make it even, resurface the whole entire thing.
Okay.
So that's gonna be a whole entire construction season that there will be no use at all.
So it's not just the extension, they're rebuilding the whole thing?
Correct.
Got it.
Because we're doing, it's gonna be sloped up to like 15 feet above the field out here. So we're gonna have a slope all the way from about the middle, it's gonna be sloped up. So
Okay.
that whole buildup and stuff, it's gonna be a whole construction season.
Alright,
Yeah, we looked into alternate runways too, grass
sure.
Yeah.
stuff, and the feasibility wasn't really there at the time when we had Paul looking into it.
Got it. Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Bob. All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second? All those in favor say aye. Motion carries, thank you. That completes our January 10th meeting, thank you.